If you know how something is going to happen, it's not new. But if you're seeking something new, you can't know how it's going to happen. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Lucy Superfox Show. My name is Lucy Superfox and this is my podcast. So in today's episode, I want to talk to you about absolutely crushing your goals in 2025. Now we're at 2024 recording this and even launching this, and you're thinking, we're still in 2024. Why are we talking about 2025? And the reason is what we do today doesn't just create our tomorrow, it also creates our future self. So crushing your goals in 2025 starts now. So let's dive in. So if you right now have got some big ass goals for 2025, then let me tell you, I'm going to share with you today all the tools, all the resources, and all the tips you need to absolutely crushing it. So first things first, you've got to get clear about what you want. So many of us say such beige and vague things like, I want more money, I want to be happier, I want to be thinner, I want to do more holidays. And like, what does that even mean? Because most of us then wouldn't even realise if we've achieved our goals because they were so vague to begin with. So as the old saying of smart goes, we do have to get pretty specific about what it is we want. But I want you to remain loose around the how. So I don't want you to think about how it's going to happen, whether it's logical, whether it's possible for you. I want you just to focus on if 2025 could go perfectly, if everything that you wanted to happen could happen for 2025, what would that be? What would life look like? Now, the truth is, for some of us who maybe are still on that healing journey, maybe have been on a rough ride the last couple of years, or maybe you are going through something right now, dreaming and having vision can feel really difficult. It's usually because we have a fear of disappointment. We have a fear of rejection. We have a fear of feeling anything, whether that's being disappointed, being sad, or even being happy. And that happens because deep down, we still haven't processed things from the past where we felt negative emotions, where we felt difficult things. And so this can show up in our day-to-day experience, even as limiting ourselves in thinking about dream ideas for next year. So I want you to really reflect when you focus on what it is that you want for 2025, where actually you're holding energy and space for things that happened years ago, or where you're not allowing yourself to dream out of fear of disappointment, fear of rejection, or fear of feeling anything. So once you've established what it is that you want, you've delved into it, you felt the magic of what would be an amazing year for you in 2025, I then need you to get really crystal clear on what you're willing to do. Now, I am a big believer in manifestation, law of attraction, manifesting, bringing things into our world rather than just the hustle culture, which I personally believe is a lie. But the truth is, action will be required. So how much are you willing to do? What are you willing to put into this? I see so much of the time people come to me with new business ideas or things that they want to commit to, but they're only willing to commit 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day because their current life is so consuming and overwhelming. But the truth is, when I started my businesses, when I decided to go all in, they were a huge part of where I spent my time and energy. Yes, do I believe personal time is important? Yes, is self-care foundational? Yes, is managing our time really important? For sure. But it's about our energetic commitment. So I want you to draw a circle on a piece of paper, and this is your energy cake. So in your energy cake, where is all your energy currently being spent? Where are all the slices being given away? And how much is left for this new idea, this new goal, this business, or your dreams? Because if all your energy is being channeled into who you currently are, the past version of yourself, how things have been, how life has gone for you up to this point, then we're going to have a problem. Because if there's not enough energetic room to make room for new things, but equally there's not enough energetic fuel to get behind these new things, nothing really shifts and changes. This is why people go into January every single year with, willpower, which is 5% of our mind and very little of their energy, and hope that this will be the year they finally break free of the cycles that have kept them stuck. And the truth is, that's just not enough. We change who we are by changing what's in the subconscious. So changing how we feel in the body, changing the stories in the mind, and then we change those, and then we bring the action of our 3D world. We bring the action of our humanness. But we can't do that if we're fighting the old. If in that energy cake, you're giving away so much of that energy to your past self and so much of your programming to what used to be, because it's not going to feel safe to step into a bigger, fuller future version of yourself. So step number 3 is a little bit more practical. And you're probably used to hearing me talk about the woo-woo way more than the practical stuff. But if right now you are ready for the practical and you're starting a business, restarting a business, then I have got the absolute best thing for you, and that is my Cyber Bundle. So you can go find all the details, lucysuperfox.com/cyber. 3 of my Kickstarter courses, the Entrepreneur Evolution, so focused on system, scale, and strategy. You've got the Build Your Belief Bundle, which is focused on raising that unshakable belief and self-confidence and rewriting those bullshit stories. And the Ultimate Mindset Makeover, giving you the approach, the plan, and the big vision for building something more in 2025. So the practical strategies that you need to apply to whatever your goals are in life, they have to exist. We can go into our goals with all the passion in the world. You can have carved out that cake so all the energy is ready for these things that you want, and you can desire them with every inch of your being. But the truth is, if you don't have a plan, if there's no practical framework for that to flow through, we've just got energy going into the ether with no real tangible results. Now, our energy is how we vibrate, right? We are magnetic beings. We draw things to us. But that energy has to be channeled into and through something. And this is why systems and structures in a business, systems and structures in your job, even family routines in your family life, boundaries, how you do things, how you communicate, those masculine structures are required. Now, if you're a woman who's been through a healing era, you're stepping into your feminine power right now, you're feeling like in flow and connected, you still need masculine structures for you to flow through, for you to channel through. Like when I launch a program, right? I write down, who is it I want to share this with? What problems does this solve? How do I dive into this? And guys, if you want to know the ins and outs of how I built my business to 6 figures, you can get my low cost ebooks in the shop, lucysuperfox.com/shop. I've got a 2K to 5K roadmap and a 5K to 10K month roadmap where there's a video masterclass and a workbook for each of those. So if right now business is on the cards for you in 2025, scaling and growing in 2025 is a focus, make sure to go grab those. But I really look at when I'm starting a course or a program or a launch, or even this podcast when I started this new one, right? I wrote down, who am I sharing this with? What am I sharing this? What's on my heart? Who do I serve? What problems do I solve? Where do these people hang out? What message do they need to hear? What questions are they asking? Like, I got really clear, and then I created a masculine framework, a structure and strategy for how it to flow. So I write a social media plan. I write an email plan, and it's not because I don't change my mind when I feel like it, right? But I write and create a plan and a structure, and then I implement against that plan so that the energy, the powerful connected flow and energy that I have that you see on this podcast has somewhere to go. Like I have to book the studio, right? I have to be organized. But so many of us believe that if we know what we want, that will be enough. That if we give enough energy, then, hope will come through. And the truth is we have to have some kind of structure or system. 1, to know where we started, and B, to know whether we've got there. Like weight loss, you might want to lose weight, and you may lose weight in the process, but you don't know how much weight you've lost and whether you're making progress if there's not some way of tracking it. So get really clear, what are the systems, the structures, and the strategies that I am going to implement to know how I've achieved my goals. Now, 2 final tips on this. The 4th one is about making space. So making space, and I was actually talking with my husband about this, making space is the sense of acting as if it's already happened. So if I wanted a bougie designer wardrobe, but I had a wardrobe full of stuff from cheap shops online, there's no room for those clothes, right? So I'm an energetic block for a bougie designer wardrobe. The same thing exists in your life. If there are things in your life you want to call in, a bigger business, more clients, more money, a new lover, a better body, but your life, and like I said about environment, your life is full of the old version of you. There's no room for the new version of you to step through. There's no room for the new stuff and things. There's no room for the transformation to actually happen. So making space is about acting as if and creating that room. So let's say you wanted to build a client base and you wanted to build a bigger business. Okay, where in your diary are those clients going to go? You wanted to make more Instagram sales. Okay, where in your life are you going to invest time in growing and scaling your Instagram? When you've got 50 DMs a day, what time are you going to answer them? Are you going to have a team? Are you going to use automations? Making space is about making decisions and creating room, whether it's physically by clearing stuff out, energetically by getting rid of old things, old relationships, old situations, or actually being able to mentally clear space by making future decisions and making them ahead of time. This is such an important step that gets overlooked when we come to crushing goals, is what will happen when we get there. We have to make space before we get there. And step 5, the most annoying one of all in my 5 steps of manifestation or creation, trust the process. Trusting the process feels freaking impossible when you don't feel safe to be yourself. So if right at the beginning of this, you were like, I don't really know what I want. I'm not sure what I want. I don't know if it's the right thing for me. Oh God, this is so hard. There's likely a lack of safety in your nervous system. And that lack of safety is not going to allow you to dream big, to desire, to want things, but it's also going to find trusting, letting go and allowing things without micromanaging and controlling feel really freaking hard. Trusting the process though is required because, when somebody gets pregnant and they have their first scan, they can't have the baby the next day. Like, the baby's not ready to be born, right? There's a process. We have to trust in it. And, her tummy doesn't grow every day and it doesn't kick every day. And there's no linear process to that, right? There's an overarching time window with a bit of a rough deadline, but still, we all know the women who've come 4 weeks early and the ones who've come 4 weeks late. But there's an element of trusting the process. The same is true when you're birthing anything else into the world, whether it's an idea, a program, a version of you. There is a process we have to go through, and that process, because we live in a 3D world where we have stuff and things and time and space that we have to trust in. We have to allow things to unfold. If you know how something is going to happen, it's not new. But if you're seeking something new, you can't know how it's going to happen. So we have to be able to release the how, release the control, and instead allow ourselves to trust a little in the process, a bit at a time. So if right now you are ready to become a master of manifestation and step into that wealth and abundant era or crush your goals for 2025, I'm going to drop the link below, but it's lucysuperfox.com/shop, where you can get my Mastering Manifestation Bundle and my 2 low-cost money ebooks at an absolute steal, because I genuinely know that if you can absorb this information and fully grasp what I'm saying, you can completely change your reality and not only give yourselves an amazing head start to 2025, but absolutely crush it. So I hope you love this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to follow, and to share this with anyone you think might resonate. And I'll see you on the next episode.